Kyle Shanahan's presser.
Yes.
With Flanagan Fowles, he's out, right? Who becomes the backup linebacker, middle linebacker?
Who does?
Yeah.
It's a secret.
It's Bethune.
Listen, how has Tatum Bethune been? What have you guys seen from him since training camp and these games?
He's been good. He did a good job at backup Mike linebacker to the backup during preseason. Runs the huddle well. He's mixed in there throughout the week, especially with Fred not being able to practice much. So he does a good job. Where he's needed, he'll be ready.
Do you expect to call up Trent? I'm sorry. Do you expect to call up Trent to return punts?
There's a chance. Trent's an option. Juice is an option. Jake's an option. Ronnie Bell's an option. So
don't say that. That last part. Gross. Yeah. So I want to scrape that from my own tongue just hearing him say that. Ronnie Bell. Ugh. Nah, dude. No. I'd rather see Kyle Juszczyk out there. I would rather see Aaron Banks. Okay. I don't want to see that fucker out there. Do not want to see him out there at all. But Trent Taylor, though, man, that's a good sign. I think Trent Taylor might get called up. I think he might get a chance if Cowling doesn't play, of course, because Cowling is definitely going to get the load there when it comes to punt returns. But I mean, we might see Trent. I know for a fact it's got to be Trent. It's got to be Trent, the next punt returner up, because Bell can't be the answer. He can't be.
I don't know about Jake yet, but if Jake can't go, all those other guys are choices too.
Now, there's a lot of different pass plays and all these different route combinations. Who does you just devise them and design them, and where in the process is this off-season stuff, or does it happen like in every week you devise all these different route combinations?
We have the foundation of the stuff we work on. We do all off-season, just how we distribute guys. So the quarterback gets good at it, the receivers get good at it, and then we usually study the coverages on Monday and Tuesday, and we do most of that on our own, get together later on Tuesday afternoon and decide which ones we're going to finalize, mainly based off of what our players are good at. Well, first of all, what we're going against, and then what we're going against to see what we like with our players. And then we do the same thing the next night for third downs, and we do the next night for red zone. So it's a little bit of everybody.
Red zone in particular?
Kind of the same way as the rest of the field. When Christian's out there, it's easier in everything you do. But, he usually is pretty automatic in his one-on-ones. And that's why, when you have players like Christian, I think it helps you know what you're getting a little bit more. That defenses understand how good he is in one-on-ones. So
True.
You expect two people to be there, which helps you with other places and just helps you know what you're getting a little bit better.
With the, I think the latest forecast is 95 degrees at kickoff. But what's the story with your guys' uniform situation where you wanted to get to all white or something? And then just how have you prepared for?
Yeah. I mean, when I was in the East Coast, that was such a big deal. Being in Tampa Bay and things like that, you'd always want to wear those whites early in the year. Didn't have to worry about that much out here. But got the memo earlier in the week that it was going to be hot like this. So we asked on Monday, and we weren't allowed to do it. You had to do it before the season started. So in order for us to do it, we kind of got to make like a conscious decision or a commitment before the year that we wear all whites until like the middle of October or whatever, and then go to normal. But it's not usually this hot. So we'll probably do that now just in case.
So you guys are going to.
So apparently it's supposed to be 98 degrees in San Francisco, which is really fucking hot for San Francisco. Okay. I live in right now, I think today the highest was 110 here in Southern Cali. But over there, up there with fucking San Francisco and stuff, man, 98 degrees is like 110 degrees here. That is super hot, especially if the player's not acclimated to that kind of heat or that kind of weather, man. I expect a lot of water. I expect a lot of Gatorade. Some players getting way more exhausted than usual, dude. Weather matters in that sense, and heat can mess you up. It could take the energy from you. It can also make you extremely irritated. So we might see a lot of penalties. That if there's a penalty-filled game against the Cardinals, we know why. It's fucking hot. All right. Luckily, this is just the last heat wave. And what's really funny is the weather is just coming back with one final punch. Like, just spirit bomb. Send me all your heat around the earth, and I'm going to throw it at the San Francisco 49ers stadium. Let's go ahead and finish this video.
We have white pants though.
Yeah, they'll let us do our throwbacks, just alternate it with other ones. So we'll get as much white on as possible, and the most we possibly can do is white pants. So hopefully it helps a little.
Just guessing hydration is what you're.
Yeah, that's everything. That's what we keep saying.
Will more guys get pregame IVs? Is that a thing?
I would assume so. Each person's different. Sometimes when you push IVs a lot, then people think they don't have to hydrate at all, and they just depend on the IV. So we're not preaching all that yet, but that's usually what you do in these situations. A number of guys do it just as a routine anyways on Sundays. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot more are doing it this Sunday.
You're going to see a lot of dudes just getting just IV'd up. It's going to look like a trap house on Sunday.
Southeast in Texas in college. Did you ever do that?
Always. Yeah, always.
How does it make you feel like
Better.
after you get it?
Better. I still do it. If I had too much fun the night before. Yes.
Had that thing with the uniform said it had never come up before this week?
No, we've never known in advance how hot it was going to be. And honestly, since I've been here, it never seems too hot. I feel like even on the hottest days, I still need a hoodie at some time during that day. But this week has felt different, and I truly believe Sunday's going to. So it's the first time we've really looked into it. And I think that's been a rule for a little bit. We just had to get reminded on it.
A rule that you have to commit before the
season starts. Yeah.
I know you're always gearing everything towards the next game, but in a situation like this, do you take some of your staff and say, hey, we want you guys to look at Seattle and get going on Seattle so you don't have to start from.
Yeah, guys, there's so much, busy work that needs to be done so you can evaluate people the right way. Just how our cut-ups are done, all the stuff that you got to input in a computer, so we know the areas to look at. So, guys work on that stuff usually all day Monday. And we get going on the rest. It's Monday night once we put the game to bed from the day before. And then you get all day Tuesday to really do that stuff. And now you're cramming a whole week into one day. So those guys can't be doing any busy work. As soon as we come in early on Monday, we're going right away. So guys got to get that stuff done in advance. But in terms of like studying and getting your creativity and trying to get prepared for that, I've never done it personally. I just, I don't like to mix things together. I like to be all in on one thing, and no matter how little of time you can commit, you can get in all in on something else, especially when you get 3 days off after it.
Arizona ran for about.
I kind of like that. I kind of like, hey, we're just focusing solely on Cardinals, and then we don't do anything side projects or side studying or anything like that for Seattle. But he's definitely saying like there's certain things you do need to prepare for when, especially I think just in a game in general the next week, like flights, weather, but the studying and all that, I can understand that 110%. That's the way to go. You don't want to be sidetracked by something else. You don't want to get study crossed with something else. And I like that. That's smart. That's smart. So
240 against you guys last year. You won the game. What makes their running game such a handful?
They got a good scheme. They got a really good quarterback. A really good running back. And then they got a really good quarterback who's a threat on every single play. Whether he runs you always got to honor him. And when you play 11-on-11 football in the run game, it's something that you don't have to do week in and week out, and that always makes it a more challenge. And what they do schematically, and James Conner is a stud, so all of it together.
You've got a lot of guys. That is one thing I think Papa Jay brought up too, and a couple of people in my comments have brought this up before too. We struggle against scrambled quarterbacks, and we're going to know what this defensive scheme exactly is when we face Kyle Murray, because Kyle Murray torches us every single year in the run game. Like, he runs for yards no matter what. And so we're going to see exactly how well we can cap him. I don't think we're going to stop him, but just how well are we going to slow down his running ability? Just how well are we going to cap his ability to break out of the pocket? That's what I care about. If it's constant 10 yards constantly, that's bad. Okay. But if he's getting like 5 yards here and there, it's not the end of the world. He gets one big run here and there. I think I'll be relatively happy with that, because the only real concern we have when it comes to mobile quarterbacks are Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, I guess Josh Allen, but he's more of a thrower. We'll see what Kyler Murray does. I think the 49ers are going to prepare for that, and we'll see what this defensive scheme with Brandon Staley and Nick Sorensen are capable of. So far, I don't think they've been very good. They got a break against the Pats, who have a very terrible offense. So we're going to see what he can do against an offense that is performing. The Cardinals offense is doing very well right now. It's their defense that is their Achilles heel. Their defense is atrocious. Yeah, the offense for the Cardinals is significantly better. So this is going to be a test for this defense. It's good. I think it's going to be Minnesota has a pretty good offense right now. I think the Cardinals offense is up there too as well. I think it's going to be a huge test. I'm excited to see what this defense could do. That's one of the things I'm going to keep an eye on is the defense and how well can they cap this really, really good offense right now.
We're very into health and sleep and all those type of things. Juszczyk is maybe the leader of that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, how does that manifest itself? What do you notice that he does just to make sure he can play at 33 and beyond?
I mean, just him in particular, he's just extremely smart. He's very detailed on everything he does. Like just the way those guys prepare and all year around, really. They don't just do it in football season. But I learned stuff just listening to them, just not to be an athlete, but how to be a healthy person, what they put in their bodies. I mean, they know everything that goes in their body. And just the recovery, everything they do. Like Juice definitely is one of the top in it. Christian is, Fred, Bosa, like all these guys it's become such a big deal. And when you have guys who have the success they have, it's so cool for us as an organization because young guys come in, they see it, they ask questions, and just hanging around those guys, I think collectively our team gets so much better at all that stuff.
Leadership matters.
Me?
Yeah.
I sleep more in the off season. I drink more water. Doesn't work as much for me. I put some stretch things in my office, but that's about it. I use it once a week. Mainly just stresses me out that I don't do it. But if you get really out of shape for a while, your body gets used to it and you don't feel as bad. That's kind of my secret.
That's true. I mean, you start to adapt to it, But yes, that's one rule, guys. It's one thing you guys need to do always, especially as you get older. Stretch all the time. Okay. It doesn't like me sitting right now. Let me stretch my legs. Okay. I just stretched my legs right now. Stretch all the time. You want range of motion. It allows, there's better blood flow through your body, better use, more muscle use, just better joints movement, everything. Stretching is so important. Highly recommend doing it every day. Every day.
Guys who are in real good shape and they miss like a week of working out, they feel miserable. But if you can tough through that for like a couple more months, then it just becomes natural. So, all right, there you go. All right, guys.
And that was Kyle Shanahan's final presser before we play them, the Cardinals, on Sunday.